Welcome back.
Hi.
You're not tired of me yet, and I'm
I would never,
enjoying
ever
this.
get tired of you.
I think you're helping so many people, and that's why I really wanted to do this. And
That's
thank
so
you for
nice.
being
I
so
think
open.
You're helping me.
No.
This is like the ultimate therapy.
You were like, I want to talk about you. I'm like, no, I've already exploited my family. Now you're doing
That's your
this.
turn. Now
Yeah,
it's your turn.
I was like, I've already outed everyone. There's no more money left to make. But you don't know where you're at right now. Like you're separated. The divorce word is so scary. Was that the first time you had ever said it?
You know, I've been saying divorce since day one.
Okay.
Because
Red flag, guys.
I know. I don't like being wishy-washy about shit. And I don't like having this like questioning idea in my head of, okay, well, is this going to work out? Is this not going to work out? It's like, no, you're kind of the monster underneath my bed. Like you're a fucking garbage person. And I can't be with you because that would mean that I'm showing my children that this behavior is fine. And it is 100% not. So, yeah. I mean, also, I think if he ever tried to touch me again, my vagina would retract or just grow teeth and fucking claw his goddamn face off. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
It's like Barracuda now. Like, did you have sex after? You know, some people try to make it work. You did the whole thing. So you did
that
what
day.
People do.
No, I did that day. Okay. So the day that he came home and was like, I'm out. We were like, right. I was like, no, we can make it work. And
Wait, really, Susan? Because you're so strong to me.
No, I fucking panicked.
And you said that earlier. You said you see these movies and you see these women get treated badly in the movie. And you're like, no, get up. Don't fall apart like a puddle.
What are you, pathetic, weak ass bitch? Like, no, it
happens to the strongest of us.
Fucking happens. No, I was like, no, we're going to make this work. Like, we're going to figure this out. And I threw myself at him. Wasn't even like he initiated anything. I fucking like went in like latex fucking lingerie, fucking ass out.
First
like,
time in 15 years.
Right, exactly. No. So yeah, no, but that was it. And then I was like, okay.
Don't ever touch me again.
No, it took a little while. I would say it took about 3 weeks for me to be like,
this is happening.
If you ever touch me again, I'm going to be in jail. You're going to have to raise these kids because I'm going to fucking cut your dick off. Yeah. Like there's no, right. So
what went on in your head when he says, I'm leaving and you've just made love to try and make it work and you just are now a vulnerable mom of two?
There was that I'm leaving before the sex. After the sex, I was still like, I kind of really in the beginning thought he just lost his mind. I was like, okay, you're having a total existential breakdown. And not only am I going to like have sex with you, but I'm going to be there for you. I'm going to like really try and like step up to the plate because I also thought that he was out of his mind.
Love
like
him.
I thought it just something snapped. Like I was like, oh my God.
Maybe something did.
Maybe, but who gives a shit at this point? But I was like, oh no. I was like, my baby, like my God. Like, I was like, I need to fix you. Like, let's fix you. Right. So I was like very cool for about 3 weeks. And then he had this sort of passion project that he had done. And I had gone to support, and the whole night he was like anxious about it. He was running around looking for me. And he was, I was like outside with somebody for a second talking and inside and just being social. Where are you? Texting me. And then by the end of the night, I was sitting down at a dinner with a bunch of people and he called me aside and he was like, yeah, so could you go home? I'm going to go out.
And it, for a minute, felt like the old days where you would go for the fun dinner, the business dinner, and you're the classy wife. And now this guy's like, you're excused.
It wasn't old days. It was up until that point. It was like there was no right. It was just, so he was like, but not only that, it was like I had gotten up and like helped him with the show and sort of gotten everything together for him and then tried to be a support. And then he was looking for me and he was anxious and I was trying to be there for him. And then he was like, Yep, bye.
It's party
I'm
time
gonna go
and
out.
you're not part of the party.
Get the fuck out. And I was like,
no. And even the strongest woman now at this point, you're like, I can't be humiliated.
I grabbed my bag and I was like, you get the fuck away from me. I was
don't come back
don't
home.
Talk to me. Don't touch me. I never want to fucking see you again. And I was like, you're not sleeping here. I was like, get yourself a fucking hotel. I was like, that's it. And I was like, and in fact, because we had already researched whether there was an apartment in the building for him to move into, I was like, bump that date up. I was like, I'm done. I was like, out. I was like, I think you were a fucking garbage person. I don't want you anywhere. I don't want you near my children, but I don't have a fucking choice. Yeah. Like, I did this. I spent 15 years with you, and now I have to somehow explain away your disgusting behavior to these two beautiful little children. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, you are the worst influence there could be.
From one day to the next.
From one day to the next.
We don't know what happened here still.
Right. But also, I mean, he was abandoned by his father, and I was like, this feels familiar. like you want to be your dad? Like,
that's very bizarre. And now you've said he's filled his schedule to the point where he's not available at all.
Right. But then there are things where because the truth is that he does love these kids.
Of course.
That it's not, he doesn't want, like, I can see it. He doesn't want to abandon them. He just wants to do what he wants to do. And if that doesn't involve them, he's probably going to do it anyway. Right.
At what point are you like, fuck all of you, it's me time, I'm getting a mommy makeover?
Oh, well, I mean, literally, it's like half the reason I had kids.
You're like, I wanted a mommy makeover.
I've wanted this. Yeah, I've wanted this since, 6 years old.
Yeah.
Someone give me a fucking tit job. Like, I was anybody.
I was born wanting a boob job and liposuction.
Right. It was just so,
and for the people that are saying this is an unhealthy conversation.
It is an unhealthy conversation.
It is, and we would have this conversation privately, or do you want it recorded so you know that this is what we're saying privately?
But also, it's also what you're saying privately. So
exactly, and this is the podcast, and that's why it's called Currently Cringing. Right. Okay. We are cringing at ourselves.
We had a rough upbringing, guys. We had a Britney Spears vagina showing.
First world rough upbringing.
Hottest girls in the universe. Like,
rough if you were an ugly child.
Girls Gone Wild, fucking. But rough if you were any child. Yeah. I mean, I don't know anyone that could keep up with that beauty standard.
No.
And we were 100% expected to.
Yeah.
By the age of 13.
Right.
Insane. So, if you were in a double D with a perfect ass and a flat stomach, by the age of 13, you were considered an ugly duckling.
I was an ugly, hideous duckling.
You were gorgeous. It's absurd. You thought you were ugly.
Very kind of you. No, I was very ugly and...
Not very ugly. I've seen pictures, bitch.
I went to school with very good-looking children. Like,
that's the problem.
Latino beautiful children. Like, you know, blonde hair, blue-eyed kids. And
you're like Brazilian children.
Exactly. I went to school with people from Brazil.
Yeah, I get it. And
Cubans, good-looking people. And I was brown from India. And my mom was like, you better brush your hair and shower 15 times a day because people think brown people are dirty.
No, that's funny.
And smelly.
Because my parents were like, you shower again.
I'm going
to murder you. Yeah, it was more.
The water costs money.
No, but also my mother sort of instilled, and now I'm wondering if this is an autism thing, but my mother sort of instilled where it was like, my grandmother showered once a week because she wanted to keep the moisture in her skin, especially if you're white.
My grandmother doesn't wash her face.
Wrinkled fucking disaster. Correct. So I was like, once a week that's what we got to do. Once a week is good. And it carried through my whole life. But now I'm thinking maybe I just don't like showering.
Well, I knew I was into my signal for depression. Now I know when it's coming.
Because you don't want to shower?
Because I don't want to shower.
That's so funny.
So now I know like when that starts happening, okay, because that happened in New York. I was washing the important parts.
I wasn't.
Well, you weren't doing anything.
I was doing nothing. But I was also, it's weird. I don't smell.
I don't either, though.
For a long time.
And now that I don't eat like gluten, dairy, nothing, I really don't smell like anything.
Girl, we got to talk about that because next
that's
episode.
For the fun. Because we're wrapping up like devastation.
The horrible, depressing.
The movie Twister, but life
version. I know. I was watching, God, it was a Julia Roberts movie. What was it?
Steel Magnolias?
No.
Erin Brockovich.
It's
always something horrible.
Something to talk about.
Okay.
She is devastated by the affair that she finds out her husband is having.
Was she in Stepmom or that's Susan Sarandon?
They were both in Stepmom, girl.
They're terrible, traumatic movies.
All I know is
good movies.
That's it.
Trauma.
That's all I can recall. Song lyrics and movies.
Yes.
That's all I got. But yeah, I was watching it and I was like, oh my God. I was like, this is what I'm living until, it's Dennis Quaid's. It's really not what I'm living. I love you, Dennis Quaid. I love you. But
Meg Ryan ruined that family.
Oh, fuck it. Well, now she's John Mellencamp, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They always move on. But, men move on, women move on. But you will move on.
I will move on.
But now you get your mommy makeover?
Okay.
Your dream come true?
My dream come true. I postponed it for a little while because I was like...
Literally, guys, 3 weeks ago. I'm like, how are you functioning? But again, bionic, like that's just the word I keep referring to you to because I would still be getting like my hair brushed by my mom.
It doesn't make sense. Okay, it doesn't make sense, and
nobody. Your recovery rate, like
I'm a case study. It doesn't.
You are
nothing in my
So
world.
what all did you get done?
Okay, so I got a boob lift because it was literally like a softball and a tennis sock, and a tummy tuck.
Again, I won't even say it was painful because you experienced no pain.
So I think that's also an autism thing, by the way. I'm like, I'm just autistic. I would say the first 4 days, you really have to be I had to be really careful. But after that, I was picking my kids up and running around and.
So tummy tuck, boob lift.
Yeah.
Anything else? Lipo?
No.
Okay.
I was already. There, I mean, I think that's probably another reason why the recovery was so easy is I was already sort of trauma bag of bones.
Yeah.
So it was like, just take that skin off and you're fine.
You got to keep,
Yeah, you got to keep going. I think you're not supposed to pick up more than 10 pounds for the first 6 weeks. And
you've got your little baby Viking.
I've been
punching you in the face.
Yeah, I've been carrying cars. It's fun. I've been flipping and lifting cars and punching walls. So it is what it is. But again, not normal. Very lucky.
Yeah.
Very lucky to have it all. Very lucky to have the surgeon I had. Very lucky to be able to afford it.
Yes.
Very lucky to be in the situation that I am in. Yes, it's heartbreaking and devastating, but
it's heartbreaking and devastating. And you're putting on a brave front because are there days you're just crying yourself to sleep? Or
I could cry 5 times right now.
Yes. Or are you
but I think
numb?
I'm a little numb. I think the Prozac helps. I also hit an angry stage.
It's like the stages of grief.
They are stages of grief. I think I forced it a little bit. So I was so devastated at first. I was panicking. I couldn't breathe.
I don't know what I would do. It's like your partner in crime, your life is like, bye.
Right. But then I also had to take care of my kids. You have
those thoughts though where you're like, I should be leaving you.
Yeah, 100%.
Like that, you have that thought.
Absolutely. But I had to take care of kids. So I couldn't be panicking, crying all day. And I was like self-medicating and not knowing. And then I think the switch came when, well, first of all, I started my own therapy. And she was like, you got some PTSD shit to work out, bitch.
And is your therapy, you don't have to get into detail more about you and your childhood and growing up, or is it all like marriage and what was the past 15 years?
So it's now starting to be about childhood.
Any insights?
Before it was me just crying and her being like, oh, fuck.
One minute at a time. I always say hourly. We're living hourly.
Right, exactly. She was like, all we're trying to do right now is like calm center. Let's just figure out where that calm center is so you can get through the day because you have 2 kids to take care of. Yes. And that's like, right. So I did go through a really painful period, hard, painful period. But I think the switch came when I was like, okay, I can't feel this way anymore. I've got to switch up my thinking. Like I can't live like this. Like I can't live like, what am I going to do? What did I do wrong? What are people going to think? You know what I mean? How could he be doing this to me? Maybe he never loved me.
Yes.
And instead I was like, why do I love him? Why? Just a couple reasons. Can you think of anything? Like, where does his value lie for me? Not where does my value lie for him?
Right.
And things started to click a little bit and make a lot more sense.
And a lot of women, their identity becomes their family and their marriage and their partner.
Right.
And having a husband, it makes you accepted in society. And this is, as someone who didn't have any of those things, made to feel like an alien by everybody, not just people who are married. Everyone, if you're single past a certain age, it doesn't matter. I realized what race you are. It had nothing to do with being Indian. Even white people, Black people, Latino, everyone was like, you're weird. Well, and I was like, I'm not weird. I have seen this happen to people. And so I want to find the right person.
Right, but like, why is my value less? Because I don't have another
partner.
Right. I mean,
or a family or children or anything. But it's the way of the world. And so you somehow become devalued by society, even in divorce.
Right.
So what was that like?
So I panicked about it for a little while. And then I started getting, first of all, I panicked about it. And then I was like, I have to tell everyone right now. Because if I don't tell everyone right now, this feeling is never going away. So I fucking got a blowhorn and I told the world. Everyone I knew, I told. He didn't. So up until
I wonder why.
Maybe about a week ago, nobody in his life knew. He just started telling people, and I've got everyone's wife sort of texting me and DMing me and being like, oh my God, is this okay? Is this okay? Is this okay? Are you okay? Blah, blah, blah. And my response to it, I think, is like the only response that you can give, which is, I'm fine because I have to be. And he's a monster. So things are better. Like, that's, I mean, because it's really all it is. It's like, okay, I could be devastated and I could collapse and I could seem like this pathetic puddle. Or I can really sort of focus on what's going on right now. And what's going on right now is people are reaching out to me, A, for dirt, but also B, because I'm dope.
Right.
Like, who gives a shit? Like, what? Like, they hate you. Right. Like, nobody, like, you're the fucking shit. Like, nobody cares a shit about you. Everyone's calling me because they're worried about me because they know you're an asshole.
And that you're amazing.
But just that I'm a person.
Yeah.
Who's and now had the rug ripped out under her.
Put up with this for so long is
right,
the
and
question.
a little bit.
I'd like to know. I'm asking.
Because
or
again,
did you want to just keep it together?
No, because he was my friend.
You're gonna make me cry. Like
it. How do I explain it? It's just like anyone in your life of value, anyone that's been there for a long time, is going to have things about them that piss you off, that are going to do things that you don't think are acceptable.
Human nature. We do things that are
exactly. I'm not perfect. You fucking get over it. You fucking push past it and you get over it. That's it. Because you don't give up.
You don't give up. Exactly. Right. And
because you don't give up on people, because there's nothing worse than giving up on a human being.
But I learned to really respect yourself and to know your self-worth. Standing on business, as the kids say, I'm standing on business. Standing on business.
I don't know what any of this shit means.
Yeah, standing on business means like you're sticking to your word, like you're putting yourself first, like you're someone reliable is also someone that disassociates with people that don't value them, that don't respect them, and don't know their worth. Like you don't, if someone doesn't value you and doesn't know your worth, they don't belong in your life.
Right.
Even if it's the best person, the person, your most favorite person in the world. Right. And that's what sucks. Well, but it has to be done.
But the reason that they don't value you is because you don't value you.
That's the secret.
Right. So it comes back to you, period. So it doesn't matter. So whether he's here or gone, whether he loves me or he doesn't, whether he values me or he doesn't, it doesn't fucking matter because it's not about him.
Yes. And I said this too many times. You will attract whoever you do by whatever vibration you're
Yeah,
at.
I agree.
So
I
you'll
think
keep
like
meeting
likes.
mirrors of yourself until you value yourself,
Right.
which is why no one wanted to be with me because I hated myself.
Right.
And so now I'm hoping you're learning your value because you always seemed like a confident person to me. And what people need to realize when they listen is this is a huge shock to people that know you and love you. Because we would have never known.
I think, yes. But I think that there's the flip side of the coin. So I think that it's always 50-50. So there is a part of me that thinks I'm amazing, that thinks I'm smart and funny and clever and values the shit out of what I bring to a situation. Okay. And then there's a part of me that's like a 7-year-old girl that's got like 10 pounds on her that has, you know, maybe like a touch of a learning disability that can't like keep up in class that, you know, people didn't, you know, gravitate towards anymore and they used to, you know what I mean? And then I had to sort of figure out how to push that poor bitch down and move on with my life instead of dealing with her and comforting her and making her feel like she was worthwhile. So now I have to do that.
And you're doing the work. No one wants to do the work.
Because it's awful.
The work sucks.
It's like the worst.
Like people were like, how are you single and celibate for 5 years for me after the 12-year relationship? Now I'm like, well, it's
I was single and celibate then too, bitch. That's why.
Because you were like, I always was.
Yeah, because nothing has changed. But that's another little part of this also.
Yeah, and you deserve that. You deserve a sex life. You deserve all of that.
Right, but like also it's just like it's not that much different.
It's not, but I'm saying the reason I slept with my husband the second date was because I thought we were going to die in the pandemic and I was never going to meet anyone. And I had been single and celibate for 5 years. And I was like, if I got hit by a car tomorrow and nothing was like physically wrong with me, you just willfully didn't have sex for 5 years.
Right.
And died.
That's true. That's true. But also it's like, I'm so tired of doing what other people expect of me. I'm tired of not having sex on the first date.
Me. So that's why I'm like, I never listened. Which is why I'm the other side where I'm like, I was the weirdo for not listening to people. And now I'm like, aha.
Right.
I was right.
I know. Maybe it's like everything I've done up to now has been the wrong decision, the wrong choice. And now it's time to switch it up. A lot of people
are normal and have normal experiences. And I just happen to see people around me be miserable.
Yeah.
And so I didn't want that for myself. Having said that, I am a newlywed and I think people change. And who knows? And my mom thankfully has told me, she's like, there's no guarantees. We don't know what's going to happen next week.
Right.
I could be happily married talking to you today.
Right.
Tomorrow, who knows?
But it's also you grow together or you grow apart. And I think your values change. And I had kids and my values changed. And
his did with the weight loss.
I don't think they ever changed. I think that's the difference.
But do you never lie to yourself in that thinking he was something that he wasn't? Or did you?
I think I did. I mean,
you did.
Well, yes. I think I put him on a pedestal and I decided to ignore.
I could see why though. He took care of you. And what I want people to hear also is he never used this as a power play or a power move. But you worked up until you had children and then you could afford to be a stay-at-home mom.
Right.
And so is part of the reason you wanted to do the podcast and everything is like to find yourself again, to do something? Because you've been at home being a mom and did you feel like, who am I? Who's Susan?
Well, 100%. But
for the people who did that.
Yeah, 100%. But I think also there was a part of me where it was like, okay, because I never had any real gumption, like get up and go. I was never super ambitious. I was like, Jamie needs me. This is the time I can dedicate 150% of myself to him and do the right thing and be the, you know what I mean? Be the person that he needs me to be. And I think instead of Adam finding value in that, he was like, do you want to do something or?
Right. Like, you're like, I'm taking care of our child.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yes. I've been very clear with my husband. I'm like, if you want a child, I'm not working. And if I'm not We can't do it all.
I don't think he cared about me working. I think he cared about me having passion about something
I
other than
but
the kids.
It's a lot to.
Oh my God, get
what
the fuck away
you have to do
from
is
me.
to have 2 children.
I know.
It's a lot of work.
Oh yeah, get away from me.
It's a job.
What
were you going to do? Go back to graphic design?
Right,
and
who gives a shit?
Remember your child needs you?
But also, it was like, I was never going to make enough money to have it be a drop in the bucket anyway. So who cared? And I don't know. I think that part of all of this is my lack of passion. And he finds that unappealing. But what he doesn't understand is that where my passion lies is taking care of the people that I love.
And you always wanted to be a mom. And you're a great mom.
And that's it. But like all the people, him included.
He's part of the, Does he realize who's going to take care of him now? I don't think he realizes.
I think he does. I think that he initially thought when all of this was posed that we would still be like best friends. And I would take care of him.
And you'd still do the day-to-day living stuff.
And I still do.
Why?
You know why? I think honestly.
Well, it's your children's father.
But also just because he's a piece of shit doesn't mean that I have to be. And just because he gives up on people doesn't mean that I have to. And though he's not going to be my main priority or a huge priority in my life, I don't feel good about myself when I'm not doing the things that feel natural to me.
You're doing it because you want to.
Right.
And
by not doing it, which I didn't for a little while when this first happened, did not serve me. It did not feel good. It felt like I was unnaturally living. Like it didn't make sense. Like if I can't look at him panicking and be like,
yeah, no, I can.
Right. It's because you're my praying mantis.
I can. But, yes, I am. I'm a barracuda praying mantis.
You sure are.
You're like, how is your husband still alive?
I mean, he's just so sweet.
The sweetest. But I'm like
how is his head still attached to his body?
But I feel like they all change. I'm not manifesting that, but I'm like, I've seen it all, so I'm just like, time will tell.
See, but that's the thing. I feel like it's always in there. Whatever it is in there, and it just becomes more prominent as you get older. So we're all caricatures of ourselves, and when we're younger, we're trying to find ourselves. So we're all over the place. So the strong personality, that id in us doesn't come out really until later, until we're like, I'm too tired to pretend.
Yes.
I need to be comfortable with me.
Yes.
So I feel like we're all who we are at birth, and this is who he turned out to be.
Yeah.
Which it's not great, but it also gives me the chance to maybe start over a little bit.
Well, that's what I want to get to. So you've had your mommy makeover. You're feeling,
just, by the way,
the best you've ever felt.
Fucking excellent. No, like tired and depressed. But
we always said sad and skinny and happy.
Sad and skinny,
fat.
Happy, fat.
Always say that.
That's what it is. Yeah, but I don't know. I like buying clothing a lot more.
Things have changed. Like, tell us.
Things
What's
have changed. What's it like? Okay, so this was the dream, right? It was to be able to eat what I want. And not have to like be.
And you're on this, you've said you're going to stay on it for life, most probably.
Yeah, there's a maintenance dose. So I'm on the maintenance dose. So I'm not actively losing weight anymore. But it's maintaining me. I can pretty much eat whatever I want within reason. I have boobs that I can't like hide a liquor bottle under. That's really nice. That's never happened before. My stomach is almost unnaturally flat. Like
I've never had a flat stomach, but that's Indian genetics.
I will show the world my flat stomach. It is wild. Which I'm sure is going to lax at some point because there's no way it can stay like this.
Have you worn a bikini? Like, because me and you are not beach people, but maybe now you are.
I will never be a beach person. I will never. The sun will never hit my skin.
Same. But I still wore a bikini and went to the pool for a photo, which I'd never done before.
I'll walk around the house in a bikini, no problem.
Okay. But you own one now.
I mean, I've owned them before, but
I know, but you never wore them or did anything. I never saw you at the beach ever.
No, but I really hate the beach.
So do I, but when you get this like confidence now, those are things you do, even though you hate those things.
Sun makes me really angry.
Me too.
I just don't.
But I still went at 5 a.m. to Miami Beach and had my mom's friend take thirst traps of me.
I'd rather be naked in the street. I
hate sand. It's gross. I
hate sun. I hate sand. I hate ocean. I don't. I like listening to the ocean.
But the ocean is cleansing.
I do. So I like listening to the ocean.
But I do think you should dip into the salt water.
I'll dip into the salt.
And walk on the sand. It takes away negative energy.
That's great. Can I
go
do
to the
it?
Hamptons?
Can I do it in winter? Like,
yes.
Is there a reason that I have to do this in summer? I will do it in winter all
do
day,
it.
Girl.
I would like you to do that. Cleanse in the ocean. Just a dip, but I don't know how you do that in winter.
I'll do it in winter.
Yeah.
I'm a cryo girl.
You're like polar plunge.
I only like being cold. The second I get hot, I want to rip my skin off. Yeah. So
now you said a new beginning. Are you interested in dating?
Right. I feel obligated to date. I feel like that's what I should be doing, and I should dive right in immediately.
Yeah. Don't waste time.
Don't waste time. I did a bunch of stuff. I got a matchmaker because I can't.
I love that because
I can't do the work.
Even though I had met my husband on an app, but for our generation, the elder millennial, we didn't grow up with the dating apps.
We didn't. This is so easy. Honestly, it's almost too easy where like I haven't done the work that I need to do for it to like actually get this shit up and running. Also, I think part of it is like, Jesus Christ, do I have to fucking talk to another man?
Yes.
Like, oh my God.
It's not about
God,
them.
I hate them. Right. It's not about them. It's really about just realizing your own value, getting yourself out there, knowing that you can have a conversation with an adult of the opposite sex and not be like,
and also know that you can have multiple soulmates and multiple partners in your life, people that are part of your chapters. Oh, yeah. You don't have to be alone.
I always thought that though.
I know. So did I. But I'm telling you're like, Susan's like, I was fine in that department. I'm like, I'm saying for the people that can't move on.
Well, I think that the reason people can't move on, I mean, it's hard. It's not easy. You really need to change your mental state and you have to want to change it. And if you don't want to change it, it's not going to change.
And for the people, I don't want their life to pass them by over. Right. Like I see a lot of these comments, they're like, I haven't found anyone after my divorce. I never found anyone ever again. The love of my life. It's like, you can have many of those. It doesn't have to be that one person. It's not person. It's not the end all be all. So I want you to share that with them because you've been resilient.
You know what? The truth is that I don't even think it's about being resilient. I think it's about, I was in that mentality too, 100%. And I could still be there. I could be there 5 years from now. I forced myself to get angry instead of just being sad.
How?
I asked myself the question, yes, I understand that there are things that he's devaluing about me. What do I value in him? And why do I value it? And what does he bring to my life in this current moment?
And I've said it, there's no reason to marry someone unless they're 10xing your life.
Right.
And that could be like a lot of different things. And it goes both ways.
Yeah.
But if no one's bringing anything into your life, like I think you marrying Adam, it was good for both of you. You gained a lot.
Yeah, at that moment.
Got to a point where I was like, okay.
Right. I don't need you anymore. Let's go. Yeah, I agree. I think it got me my beautiful boys.
Yes.
It got me my, mansion in the sky.
Yes.
That's not bad.
Palace in the sky.
That's fine.
And you had good memories and a
I
good
do.
friend,
I have good memories.
Time for the next chapter.
Yeah. Also, I think that there is an element of this where I was a much different person. He was a much different person. I don't want to have a clear memory of the person I was. There was a lot of partying. There was a lot of sloppiness. There was a lot of, the idea of being with someone new that doesn't know that chapter or didn't see that chapter, didn't witness that chapter is actually really kind of fun and exciting. Yeah. Like I get to be who I am right now forever to somebody.
Yes. I love that. I like my husband because they meet you at your, the future you is better. Right. And so I just love doing things now with my husband.
Right.
And It's probably millennial PTSD. Like, I've erased a lot of my past. I
Me
don't want to
too.
remember. It's a blur, and that's probably a coping mechanism.
Right. And
But-
also alcohol.
Yeah, and alcohol. But I don't want to remember.
Right. I don't want to remember it either.
I'm fine.
And it's a nice idea to have someone that is with you and really with you all the time now, that knows you to your core, that didn't have to see that might know about it, didn't have to witness it.
Yes. And that's part of like the 20s, the 30s, the 40s.
Right.
Would you say you're more confident than ever now in your 40s? Because I'm entering 40 and I feel the best I've ever felt.
I give less of a fuck.
Well, we never did really.
Right. But we
about
did.
our bodies and stuff. But I never cared about what people thought of me.
Me either. But I think that was also a defense mechanism where it was like, if I care about what people think about me right now,
it's not going to be good.
I will explode.
Like for me, I'd like
So
they're
I need
not
to
going to think
not-
I'm attractive.
I need to not give a shit so that I can function day to day. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So I think that there was a lot of that. And now there isn't, because I genuinely don't have the energy.
Yeah. And
Really.
my thing was always just starting new things. Like, let me quit my great job that I had in fashion to go do this TV thing, to go do this clothing line, and now comedy, because it's all trying to make up for all this lost time.
Right.
Literally, like, do the most, because I was doing the most always, but not, with confidence.
You've got that fire though.
But
you
I
got it
wasn't-
in you got it in your soul.
But that was all because I felt like my intelligence made up for my lack of like
but isn't
being
that
hot.
but isn't that everybody?
Yeah.
Like everyone I know that's like successful, badass is like, no, it didn't come from me like
No.
It came from me like
Exactly.
wanting to like prove everyone wrong
Yeah.
and myself included.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you've made it.
I have not.
You have.
Um,
Because
I have made it through a sad, traumatic experience and come out the other end so far. This is pretty new. This really only happened like 2.5 months ago.
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I want to say you've made it, because in my eyes, you've made it. And I want to say this for all my friends, by the way, who have kids, including you. You know most of them. My friends are the best moms I know. And if I have a child and I have the same fears you did, I would hope I could be half as good of a mom as all of you.
See, that's the thing. All moms are good. There's no real.
No, I know some shit moms,
Well-
but my friends are great moms. I'm like, nope.
I think it's just about mentality. This is the truth. The truth is that you have a kid, comes out of you, and it's not even your mentality where you're like, oh, I need to love and take care of my kid. Your body takes over. It's biology. Okay, you're like, oh shit, I'm just a robot now, and I'm like a milking, like caretaking, like just monster who it's just seriously like hobbling to go pick up your food from the door because you haven't showered in like 3 weeks and you're covered in breast milk. Like that's it. And then they get a little bit older and you're like, oh wait, now I have to get my shit together and not smell like garbage and not be covered in food. Great. Thanks world. And then you do, and then you're like, okay, I have to do this every day. Is this every day of my life? And again,
You're
do.
the best mom. Take the W, take the win. Just say yes. You guys are all amazing. All my friends are the best moms, really. It's amazing. And you all had kids at around the same age. Like you weren't young moms or anything, you know?
No, I mean, I think that's also a key to a lot of it.
And how important, right? We realize now, and you'll agree with me, family's always been important, but how important is family? That's all that matters now.
Okay.
I see it when I'm older.
I do see it, but I always have. I have felt like my family was paramount pretty much my whole life. I was bred to feel like my family was paramount my entire life.
I was always fighting with my parents.
I mean, we fight too.
But I always thought like family's all we have. But now more than ever, I yearn for my parents.
I mean, I love my mom. I think she's great. She's the biggest pain in the ass I've ever met in my entire life. She makes me want to blow my brains out. But I love her. I feel like there are families where like you have a kid and everyone like bands together and that's not.
But that's not my family. Like, we don't have kids. My brother and my sister live in LA. I'm in Arizona. But I'm saying, you realize that's all kind of who you have at the end of the day. For me, like,
yeah,
I have my parents. That's like, those are they've always been there. They've ride or die. Those are the only ride or dies.
Right. The reason that's changed for me is because
you're a parent
of the kids. Right. So I don't feel like, oh, I have parents anymore. It's more me being like, oh, I have to be the parent now. Like, this is what consumes my brain. Like, I'm up at 4:00 in the morning buying weird shit that my kids are never going to use all day, every day. I mean, that's just.
But you're thinking of your kids.
Always.
But I will say the dynamic changes. I do agree with you, because I see my mom, whose parents are still alive, and they've turned into another set of kids, probably like your mom. Like, you're now taking care of your mom. It's like a third child.
Right. Correct.
And you're the caregiver, so you're doing that too.
Right. But also, I'm a caregiver, so I'm also taking care of my sisters when they need it. And And again, they're all great, and I love them all
I've been
so
selfish.
much. You've not been selfish.
I was that person, and now I'm doing more me.
Good, do you? Me too.
That's what I mean. Like,
Right.
But I do value now, like, my parents, like how they've been there always.
Yeah. I mean, I think people are giving me a lot of leeway now, much more than I ever had in the past. Like, if I didn't call my mom for a day, she wouldn't speak to me for a week. That's like, and I feel like people have backed off a lot because they're like, you got some shit going on, girl. Like, so that's really nice. And again, if I ever needed anything, I could call any of them and in a heartbeat, they would be there. I'm just not the person to call. You know what I mean? I don't call. I take care of it myself. I feel like I can do it. I should do it.
They call you.
Right. Because I can do it.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I feel in general. If you can do it, if you are better at me than this, then you do it. If I'm better than you, you do it. That's how it goes. That's the way a partnership works. It's not about doing 50-50.
No.
Right. It's about whatever you can take. If I am operating at 110%, you can operate at 5%. That's okay.
As long as you're doing the part that's hard for me.
Right.
And you're good at it.
Right.
I get it.